And we're back, and we're in the Crazy Cat Lady's mansion.
Nice to finally have some visitors.
I wasn't kidding. You can find her cats everywhere. So it's your generic haunted mansion.
Arrived over 40 years ago, this mansion was already chock full of baggage. And I mean the bad kind that people don't talk about. And heirlooms, too. Even before I realized that one had a lot to do with the other, I never threw anything out. Hadn't the heart for it. All the little things people left behind were a part of the house. Part of the haunting, too. But I don't scare easy. With 13 cats and maybe a dozen ghosts, I've only got so much attention to go around. To be honest, the cats cause me more trouble than the ghosts. Recently, I've been thinking of organizing the upstairs better. Doing up the old rooms a little for them. Let them know they're not forgotten. The ghosts, not the cats. All those empty rooms, sheets over everything. It's as if someone died. Well, yeah. Yeah. I'd start out with that big old standing mirror in the attic.
Yeah, so this is actually a time travel mission.
You know, one time I caught a glimpse of Ed in it, like he used to be.
Well, I don't know if it's literal time travel. It's more like, I don't know, travel to a psychic ghost dimension? I don't really know how to explain it.
And he was gone.
Time travel. Close enough.
Yeah, because you're not actually traveling in time. You're traveling like a psychic representation of the period in which the ghosts were killed. So it's weird.
What is it? Psychometry, maybe?
It's very Psychonauts.
Yeah, Psychonaut. That's the term for what we're doing. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's back in the public consciousness. I have to admit, trying to make the ghosts in your house comfortable is probably, you can have way less healthy things you do in your retirement. It keeps you busy.
I don't know if anyone here goes on 4chan, but they have a paranormal board. And I think the greatest thing to come out of it was Ghost Puncher, which was just a story of somebody's friend who just was a meathead and basically just annoyed a ghost until it left. I'm certain if you Google Ghost Puncher, you can find like a picture of that thread, but it is hilarious.
It's beautiful. I mean, for me, the fact that, if you've ever heard of SCPs, the fact that that is something that started on 4chan, because that is straight out of X. It's baffling that gained steam and became a thing, but then right now I'm LPing Katawa Shoujo, which has the exact same route, followed the same route, so, you know. By the way, if I sound a bit odd or loopy, coming down out of a rather nasty sinus infection. So, the reason I know NyQuil doesn't cause hallucinations for me is because I've had the chance to experience it.
God, I hate cough medicine. It always tastes so nasty.
It is real nasty.
I don't know how people can make that lean stuff. That's like half cough medicine, half something else or whatever. Like,
what?
Never mind. I'm saying something stupid.
Yeah, I don't. It sounds like it. I don't know anything about anything.
Which is why I have you as a commentator.
Exactly. There you go. Just like everybody else on the internet. I feel like they did try and find an excuse to actually make it so that the ghosts look like they're from the appropriate time period.
Well, you mentioned that this was originally set in the 20s, so all the ghosts are still use those models.
So yeah, you gotta find the.
Thank you.
If you travel back in time, you travel back there. I don't think I ever went here when I was playing. Like I mentioned before, I was kind of tired of Solomon Island by the time I got partway through Blue Mountain, so this is all new.
I actually enjoy Solomon Island the most out of all the areas.
I mean, okay,
But that's because I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan, so and a Stephen King fan, so I mean that makes sense.
meanwhile, I'm a historian, so I'm looking, and my big period, the period I've spent the most time, sunk the most time into, is late antiquity, and Egypt and Romania have a lot to do with it. So I'm just sitting here going, oh, I'm sitting here waiting to go to places that I'm excited about, and I kind of got tired of waiting around the time that Blue Mountain really got going.
Well, don't worry, we only have 2 or 3 more videos, and then we'll be in Egypt.
Yeah, I don't object. I mean, you know, I'm fine. It kind of implies that I'm not, that I don't want to be here, copying this area, commenting on this area. It's something that's not true. But I am looking forward to talking about
You're
pharaohs
looking forward
jerking
to
off
your,
into the
to your
river.
specialty.
Yeah, I get to talk
you're
about
looking forward to
pharaohs.
your
Yeah, pharaohs jacking off into the river. Which had several variations over the millennia. All sorts of fun stuff.
Isn't that because of something one of their gods did?
I mean, look, there's sort of, like, it's complicated. Let me just say this.
Well, that's
The thing
just Egyptian mythology in general. It's complicated.
I mean, that's mythology in general. Here's the thing. Let me just put it this way. There is no set canon in any polytheistic religion. It's... So, if you ask somebody who's familiar with it, like, whether something definitely did or did not happen, they're gonna stare at you, if they have, like, experience in it, they're gonna stare at you for a split second while they try and organize all the different casts of that myth, to try and strain out some kind of single narrative they can actually express to human beings.
Mom?
I should mention Delapore, reference to a Lovecraft story. The Lurking Horror, I believe it was. No, the Rats in the Walls is Delapore.
That's like one of the only Lovecraft stories I remember much about. Like that and Mountains of Madness.
I'm still sad that we'll never get Guillermo del Toro's Mountains of Madness movie.
That would be amazing.
But it's really hard to make that movie because there's only a little bit of action.
Yeah, there isn't much that.
Most of it is literally just an expedition to the Arctic and fantastical scenery. So there's not a hook to the narrative.
Yeah, you'd have to. You'd probably do it.
You have to make that Shoggoth chase really big.
You might. I can imagine doing it as like a sort of, how do I put it, like a thoughtful horror documentary thing.
So a faux documentary, and then it goes weird.
Sort of, but more like it's weird from the start, and like people show you start. Basically, you'd have to restructure the whole thing, and put the emphasis on like seeing various. You hire some of the best effects people in the business, and then go all in
Well,
on
it's a
having
Del Toro
these,
film. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a given if you're making a Del Toro film.
Yeah, and go all in on ruins, and not even like purely supernatural awful ruins, but like just grandeur. And then you start introducing the Shoggoths and have the Elder Things kind of set, like, just be a presence around. I love it. The Tortured Artistes using zombie animations. I have to admit, I have no idea what's going on in this quest. Like, are you like individually solving people's issues?
Essentially, we're going through the horrible periods in the history of the mansion. So there was a servant who was murdered, then a guy snapped and murdered his whole family, and then there was a hippie commune that went wrong.
Mhm.
And that one is weird because apparently the guy's still alive.
Huh.
Yeah, I get really close to death a couple times in this particular mission, just because these zombies are kind of tanky.
Mm-hmm.
But we get to do that terrible stealth mission in this video.
Are you excited? I'm excited.
See, the thing to do is first clear out all the dead, because you have to do an escort quest.
Use that out of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at these like dead hippies, thinking, did you know Elvira just released a... I'm going to immediately date this video. Did you know that Elvira just released a memoir?
No.
I just got it. It's really good. And if I don't know if
well, she's not. I mean, she's like Dolly Parton, you know.
Yeah.
The beauty hides an actual brain.
Yes. And it's it's fascinating. Like, you will see... How do I put this? Sometimes you'll run into those people who are just completely wild and uncontrollable and think what's going through their heads. And she's kind of... So, I mean, like you said, there's real brains there that just aren't in most people, even, you know, in general. But it's a good insight into how those people actually work and how they're, you know, evil. So I highly recommend it to anyone who has or hasn't had the chance to read it.
You know, this reminds me of when I tried to run a zombie campaign set in 1968.
Oh. Like with what system?
GURPS. I'm
GURPS.
a big GURPS fan.
I'm a big GURPS fan. That's how I got into tabletop. So, it did like just fizzle out because of schedules, or...
It fizzled out because I kind of got writer's block, essentially. Like, I was like, okay, they're building up walls around a town or whatever, and then I just kind of went, I don't have the motivation to run this anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because part of the problem was it was a traditional voice game.
Mm-hmm.
I do much better in text when I have time to think.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've had trouble. I have trouble doing things over text. Like, I like being able the speed of being in person. I've only ever tried to run a game once online, or twice, but neither time it worked. The third time was somebody trying to run a Vampire the Masquerade campaign. I was so bored. It was just like they were a good DM, but it was a political campaign that had people like scheming because it's Vampire the Masquerade, and I just could not pay attention.
I could never play Vampire the Masquerade because vampires are so depressing.
Yeah, Vampire. Like, it's funny.
Like, the specifics of Vampire the Masquerade are you can never eat food again.
Yeah.
And I love food too much.
Yeah.
Like, you will live forever. You will have access to this vast patronage network, and you will never worry about money again. And I'm like, can I eat steak anymore? No, but blood is no. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Put me in the sunlight.
In the sunlight. Let me roll the dice see what happens to the next life. It's like,
But when I bit you, you were damned, and I'm like, I don't care. That's a you problem.
get that chilled shit away from. It's like that's the Vampire is the only part of either. It's like 4 versions of the World of Darkness have, and that's the only part of. That's the only line that I don't care about in any. And I went on that campaign because I trusted the DM, and I thought if anyone can make something interesting out of it, they could, and they did, for people who weren't me, you know.
Yeah.
Well, hello there.
But yeah, I just do not. I mean, what like you have Changeling and Changeling the Lost, which is just
Fancy them carrying on upstairs like that,
it's
stomping around and slamming
it is.
doors.
Here's how
Reminds me
people
why
deal
you
with
and I agreed on no
their
weapons.
traumas.
At least
The
until we
RPG,
moved back to Long
like
Island.
carried out about as well as you could possibly
I suppose
expect.
it takes to spook a ghost.
In just right in the middle of the World of
Digging up
Darkness,
the
the
Ouija
same
board to find
line that
out.
produced
I've already got enough sorrows to last the rest of this lifetime.
what was it? It blamed
I do feel
the
responsibility.
Great Chicago Fire
I have
on
as much claim to the house.
Mrs. O'Leary, who was also in
Besides, if they're
Mad
upset, the
Irish
cats are
Vampire.
upset, and if the cats are upset,
Just
come on.
Well, in Vampire the Masquerade, everyone important was a vampire.
And then
that's
again,
true.
a few nights ago,
This is the the Hitler exception. I think is the one area they managed to skirt around it. Because that in every setting where somebody did everything, where some supernatural group did everything, they keep Hitler aside, just to they want to keep the ultimate evil human, to keep it from being like to make the point that humans can still be horrible.
I guess, but with all the conspiracies going on in the background, that makes them look even worse that none of them stopped it.
Yep, and that's the issue. There's a reason why people don't do that much anymore.
And I remember if you play Wraith, it's about the afterlife and spirits, and there's like a Holocaust area of the afterlife, and I remember that part going, whoa!
I remember reading a Fatal Imprint review of that, and from that thread for that topic, it was actually pretty positive. They handled it better than they should have. And I hear that that's a thing for Wraith, where they take these delicate topics that should not be handled and handle them about as well as they possibly could, which doesn't make them playable, but at least it's not insulting.
Yeah, so we're going to the web browser because otherwise I'd have to watch that long video and translate Latin. No, seriously, that little Ouija board takes for fucking ever.
And I have enough experience with Latin to know that I don't care enough to translate it by hand.
Oh no, it doesn't spell Latin. It just takes forever.
Oh, okay. But yeah, and I mean, I think you do have to translate Latin. Something.
There's a number of times you have to translate Latin. There's one time you have to translate fucking Romanian.
Yeah, I was actually about to mention that. The fact that one of the later quests has you translate a letter from Romanian in order to like advance the quest is just. I mean, yeah, you inevitably could just enter into Google, try and type it onto Google Translate or something, but that's a pretty big ask.
Yeah, so we're gonna deal with some Orochi funkiness where they captured his spirit and it got out.
Which is, you have to have a corporation that doesn't know what it's doing, and any good
They're
paranormal
essentially like a mix of Cerberus and
umbrella.
yeah, and Umbrella Corp.
Kind of all. They really well. Yeah, they kind of.
Every time you see them, it's because they're horrifically fucking up. And then in Tokyo, you get to their tower and you see all the horrible shit they're doing, and they're also fucking up. And now you have to translate Morse code from the fucking headlights, so...
Okay, let me see. So we're talking about. From now on, I'm going to be watching the Akab to see how their muscles work, so I can decide: are they mammalian, or are they insectile or insectoid? And if so, what that means
Well,
about the taste of their meat.
eldritch. They're eldritch enough that you can't really categorize them, though.
I mean, yeah, but I'm
I
not.
fought them some more, and it's like you literally cannot categorize them. Like they have traits of both. Like they have compound eyes and skin and an internal skeleton.
Yeah, I mean, true. I'm not seeking to categorize them as much as taste them. You know.
Okay, yeah, that's literally how the conversation started. Could you eat an Akab?
But like, yeah, it's just as a reference point, even if it's not exact. Because it's different kinds of muscles have different kinds of taste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think insectile. Given by the way they move, they have skin, but I think they are corrupted news
Yeah,
report.
another corrupted by the film. You can vaguely hear her screaming, but even in the original, it's too low to hear, and it's not subtitled, so it's like I guess you didn't want me to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is your generic haunted mansion. They're really hitting all the tropes here.
Guess they had to get that out of the way early, or they got into the weirder, stereotypical stuff. Yeah. But really, Egypt is not. Egypt is really different than stereotypical horror movies. I really do like. Spoilers. I won't go into details. I really do like what they did with it, as far as theme and aesthetics go, at least.
Yeah, the Akab are really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm surprised they never make a reference to?
Mm-hmm.
That Nicolas Cage movie, the remake of Wicker Man. Because at the end they pour bees on him. He goes, "The bees, not the bees.
Yeah, that's
Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey." Yeah, they never reference that, which is a real shame because that is
wasn't that just
that is some prime Cage overacting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wasn't that just like a deleted scene though?
I think that was in the original. I think there is some deleted scenes, and one of them No, I think in the base one he just outright punches a fucking woman in the face.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage's filmography is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. He's like,
Because he is a good actor.
he just is so completely undiscerning about the roles he takes. He just takes whatever role's there, and if he doesn't have,
He knows when he's supposed to give a good performance and when he's supposed to give a Nicolas Cage performance.
yeah, that's
Like, you can watch Pig, and he gives a great, understated, really good performance. And then you go watch Wicker Man, and it's just fucking insane.
God. I remember hearing people joke about GURPS Nicolas Cage. They have GURPS source books for. I don't know. I never was able to verify if it was real or not, but where it was supposedly just a described universe of like a combined universe of all his movies and gave you all the instructions on how to build and play characters from them.
Yeah, that sounds like a good fan supplement.
Yeah,
I have GURPS Hammer, the conversion for Warhammer.
I have GURPS Asparagus.
What is that?
It's it tells you how to play a piece of asparagus in GURPS.
Okay.
It is a fan supplement, but it has a bunch of different stuff. It gives you stats on what to buy and how to use an asparagus cooker. It tells you that you can use cooking asparagus to aid your erotic arts roles.
Oh my god, GURPS is so good.
GURPS is wonderful. I love GURPS. I love all of its weird stuff.
Quick look around the house. All the ghosts you can actually see when you're dead.
That's actually really neat. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, they're all over the grounds too.
Yeah, like the only thing about GURPS is that it's not. It's a system that's really kind of. It's crunchier than the kind of games it's advertised as being able to run. So it isn't always a great match. You get like comedy games where there's one called IOU, which is like Illuminati University, and got the Department of Zen Mathematics off one corner, schools in assassination and blowing things up, and then you have to do roll twice to hit to even start combat. It's just unfortunate. And yeah, it's still a good system. I actually review some. I may link in the thread someday for my review of GURPS Asparagus, which was 14 pages of pure joy. Kind of odd to be seeing a secret world ghost that isn't trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to match the tones. You know how these puzzles work. Congratulations, you're banished.
Do you know what happens if you fail? Is it just a reset or does it attack you?
It just resets. Nothing can attack you when you're dead. Which I mean, I know why they did it, but in-universe seems like an oversight.
Yeah.
Because you could probably totally do that.
Yeah, in this setting.
Nice to finally have some visitors.
In this setting.
We get by in peace and sadness, the ghosts and I. Like in an old folks' home, I suppose. We keep each other company. The ones up in the mine, that's a different story. A real horror story.
Yay, shitty stealth section.
They were our friends. My soirees were the talk at Kingsmouth. A touch of New York glamour to the sticks. That's why I had the pool dug, you know. And no, I don't mean the kind of party where you leave your keys in a bowl. I know they still linger and suffer. Must be lonely under those old, cold rocks. Back in the day, when I would still leave the house, I tried to silence those voices. I called every priest, every psychic and paranormal investigator in Maine, and not one of them stayed overnight. Even the Indians and that little Ami girl offered their native mumbo-jumbo. At the time, I thought, the nerve of it, considering the part they played in the whole mess. But I suppose they were only trying to help. Sometimes, when the wind comes, I hear those boys at the mine singing. I can never quite make out the words. Nice to finally have some visitors.
So yeah, we're just gonna go run into a haunted mine.
No biggie.
Yeah, I don't understand the point of pets in this.
It stroking your ego, showing off how big your wallet is, showing off that you spend too much time on this game, or you may just really like something that you see. I remember seeing someone having a really cool looking gin, just like a baby gin.
Yeah, that's hard to get. I think some of them are just, I want to look cool.
I want to look cool and I have money to blow. So here you go. I do remember a little Phil Spawnley that was intentionally actually really cute that I kind of wanted, but never actually had the money or cared enough.
Been held under so long, I ain't even got the memory of the man I was. No loving memory.
Yeah, and that just automatically murders you.
This is gonna be a great mission, isn't it?
Yep.
Quick access inventory updated.
Remember, the light is evil. That is an extremely 70s picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know 70s fashion's coming back right now here?
I haven't really seen it, but I don't go out much, so.
No, neither do I. It's just something I see people mention from time to time.
Yeah, I die a couple times here. There's an achievement you can get if you don't.
One fine day that was. How you like it?
Do they ever bring up what exactly their mind was or were?
No, but in the Illuminati bunker, they mention that essentially they know the filth is here. The Illuminati knows the filth is here, so they're like, hey, we want access to this to look at it.
Ah, yeah.
So essentially, the whole thing is, we know the filth is here, we know it's deep down, let's just have a mine be here. There's presumably mineral deposits.
Ed took the fall for Jimmy's temper. We all fell. Seems to me you ought to square things up with Mr. Rigsby.
Yeah, we'll get to more interesting missions after this. Spoiler alert, we get to play with the Sasquatches some more.
Yay.
Yeah, I get a little lost.
Yeah.
Because I can't get more dynamite to blow that up. I have to take another way.
Normally I'd have something I could fill the air with, but I am. You can probably hear me sniffling through the microphone. So.
After I'm done.
I can cook it for you after you're done.
Oh no.
Yes, I can.
Fine. Sorry, I have a house guest. She had to ask something.
Look, this is no professional production. We won't judge.
Digging till their hands red. Digging when Jimmy should be dead.
Yeah, I just seem to run into all of those.
Ed took the fall for Jimmy's temper. We all fell. Finish this for us.
As soon as I get this last lore.
No darkness
Oh. Wouldn't it be amazing if one of those hate machines wandered in here and just killed you halfway through the process?
Oh, yeah. Thankfully, they programmed it better than that.
Yeah. That's the bad kind of emergent game.
There is a reference people will probably love in the next video when I do a Sasquatch mission. Oh my god, I'm gonna point it out and everyone's gonna laugh.
I was gonna say I have an app for that, but no, that just plays the sad drum and rap air horn.
Womp 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 womp.
That was so. There you go. The height of entertainment, folks.
We're almost done with the Franklin Mansion. We just have to find her husband's secret room.
I know it's not going to be anything fun, but I just want to imagine you're going to open it up and see like a box full of gimp suits.
No, she said it wasn't that sort of party.
Nice to finally have some visitors. My husband told me to expect you, so I threw on the glad rags. I used to take any excuse to socialize. Threw the best parties this backwards island has ever seen. But that coach turned into a pumpkin a long, long time ago. Now I just share this old pile with all my cats and all the ghosts. Even moved the furniture down to give them the run of the upstairs. And the view from those big windows. Oh, it was a peach of a view when I shared it with Ed. The peach trees are rotten through now. Things started changing with Ed back in that cold, cold summer of '71. Even before the ruckus with the Indians over that damned hole in the ground. Blue Ridge. Something happened up there. Started eating away at him, but he wouldn't admit to it. When he came home, if he came home at all, he shut himself in his study with all the books and maps. And he shut me out. And then there was the incident with the Indians. Ed didn't mean to kill anyone. It was self-defense, but he was tormented by it. He couldn't sleep. Suffered night terrors. He'd stay up, always scribbling in his books, on magazine covers, on the tablecloths, on the walls. I could hear this incessant scratching in the dead of night. After a while, I stopped asking him to come back to bed. I never did figure out where he kept all that writing. When his crew was found dead in the mine, it was the straw that broke the camel's neck, so to speak. I found him hanging in the attic. His face was the color of a ripe plum. But that's not how I remember him. Not how I want to remember him. He was a good man, my Ed. A good husband. A good friend. There's no shortage of secrets in this house, but Ed's lost his way. And his mind. Says he once knew how to put it all together. But he's just broken memories now. None of them good. Says the dreams came through and ate him up. And unless something is done, they'll eat us all. Says it's all in here somewhere, but he can't remember where.
Could it be this one unusually discolored part of wall?
Maybe.
I always find that funny in, like, I don't know, movies and stuff where they're like, there's a hidden room that we've never been able to find, and they find it in 5 minutes.
Just pan the camera over.
And death stared back. I thought I was ready. I thought it would solve everything.
Yeah, I started derp around because I know where it is, I just didn't see how to access it.
I think they named Eleanor Franklin after Eleanor Roosevelt.
Probably.
She was cool.
Mm-hmm. Our honeyed ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's about where we end.
That's all she wrote.
Next time we'll be playing with the Sasquatch, and we'll have a nice, funny reference for you.
All right, and see you guys later.
All right, see ya.